Once more, welcome to Checking It Out from the Panthers office in association with the GMB. Joining me, Gary Moran, Eddie Suiki on the Chick Zammit Gallery. Do you not think he looks like a young Cliff Richard? Anyway, he's got guests with him from the printers. Temple Printing's Gary Smith. He's brought son Alfie along. We've got Sarah Michelle from the office. We've got Pete Edwards, the Panthers strength and conditioning coach. And we've got Dan Green, our backup netminder as well. But also on the couch, checking it out with the GMB, we've got Paul Swindlehurst and Corey Nielsen. Thanks, guys, and welcome to another edition of Checking It Out from the Panthers office. And we're getting ready for the big one, the face-off against the Dundee Stars in the Elite League. Corey Nielsen's back with us. Don't worry, folks, he's not going to be with us every week, just most weeks. And Paul Swindlehurst is joining us as well, making his debut, not only on Checking It Out, but he's making his debut with the Panthers. Corey, it's Dundee Stars. They beat Belfast in a pre-season game last weekend.
Yeah, a lot of crazy results with the exhibition, but we were happy with what happened. We know I have looked at Dundee's team. They've got a number of good forwards in there. It should be a good game.
We're facing off against them on Saturday at 7 o'clock, and Paul, it'll be your first competitive match at the National Ice Centre at the Capital FM Arena, and it's against your former club.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to it. It'd be good to see some of the guys again from last year. It'd be good to see where they are this year. But I'm really looking forward to this season, and I think Corey's put together a really good team, and it's going to be a really good year.
Now, we signed you, as it were, from Dundee. There's no transfer fees in ice hockey, but tell us a little bit about Paul Swindlehurst. What was the route that led you to Dundee before you joined the Nottingham Panthers?
Well, I was playing in the EPL for Swindon, and I love the 2 years that I played there. And out of the blue, Dundee gave me a message basically asking, do I want to join it? And I thought, after the 2 years I had in Swindon, that it's about time that I'd step up. It was a decision that I thought long and hard about, because I was nervous about the step up. But when I got there, it all worked out for me, because we only signed 4D. One of the guys dropped out just before the start of the season, and we ended up having 4D till about Christmas time. So that made me basically step up into the league as much as I could.
That must have been a heck of a jump up from EPL, where they have, 3-4 imports in the side. I mean, we call it the minors. And then suddenly you're in the Elite League, but you're playing against the big clubs and the clubs of an equal stature to Dundee. And you're one of 4D. You're out there every other shift. Yeah,
definitely. It was a huge shock, but the guys who were on the team helped me out a lot. Taught me a few things, showed me a few things, and stuck it out. And if it wasn't for that year, I don't think that I'd be in the position that I am now, with Nottingham wanting me to join them, because of the amount of ice time that I got in the beginning of the year.
We'll talk to you about GB later in the show, but Corey, that's not going to hurt Paul Swindlehurst's career whatsoever, is it, playing on a team where he was one of 4D at the highest level in this league?
Yeah, I think what impressed us most about Paul is his size. I mean, he's a big guy, he skates real well, and he's remarkably good on the puck, which I didn't really expect. And he's young, he's a baby, so he's got a lot to learn. Every day he's picking our brains and trying to learn a little bit more about the game. He's getting better. But back to your question, yeah, I mean, anytime you can get ice time, real minutes, of course, that's the experience, especially as a defenseman. Experience is everything, but he does have that natural ability, which makes him a hot commodity, I guess.
Paul, you're going to get less ice time with the Nottingham Panthers, but what you're going to get is Rick Strachan, assistant coach, and Corey Nielsen, head coach, sitting beside you on the couch here. Both of them extremely experienced coaches of defence and players of defence in their day.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the reasons why I came here, is because of the experience that Corey brings and what he's actually done for other Brits from the Panthers. Take Stevie Lee, Robert Lakovic, Farmer, people like that. And that was one of the biggest things why I've come here. I know that I'm going to get less ice time, but I'll gain from that with the players that Corey's brought in, playing with War, Stevie again, and people like that. I'm going to learn off them, watch them play week in, week out, and then add the things that I can to my game that they do better than me, and just take it all in, just soak it all up.
Swins, we like what we've seen so far in the pre-season games. It all starts, like I say, on Saturday against your old club. Does that give it an even bigger edge for you?
I don't know really, because I look forward to every game, obviously, but to play against Dundee first season, and as you said, they've had a good pre-season, so I'm looking forward to seeing the team that they've put together, and where they are and where we stand as well. That'll be good to see. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Looking forward to going playing in Nottingham again because of the crowd and stuff. Definitely, really looking forward to it.
We had a great crowd for that Braehead game, Corey. It was actually bigger than our Sunday crowd in the Champions Hockey League last year. Oh, wow. Just pointing that one out. Tell us about your opposite number for Dundee. You're up against them on Saturday at 7. Good seats still available, folks. Mark Lefebvre.
What would you like me to say? I mean,
well, what can you tell us about him? I mean, when you go into a game, you must go into it and think, oh, I'm up against Paul Thompson, so I know what he's going to be doing. I'm up against Chuck Webber. I've got an idea what he's going to be asking his team to do. How are you approaching the Dundee game with a view to their coach?
I think it's tough. I mean, every coach, even myself, you get into a season, you have a general idea, you recruit towards how you kind of want this ship to go, but sometimes players come in, they're a little different than you thought. You know, you've got a different makeup. Maybe you want to base yourself on a forechecking system, or more defensive minded, like we did a little bit last year. So it's tough to say. I'm not familiar with him enough to know his style real well, because he unfortunately wasn't with us very long last year. So it'll be interesting to see.
If you have a look by the side of your couch, we've got a picture of Dundee coach in his playing days. Dig it out. Of course, I thought the gallery might like to see it. It's a picture of Mark Lefebvre in his Sheffield Steelers uniform. Well, I still got some of the uniform left on. From his Sheffield Steelers days, where he fell foul of the Nottingham Panthers. So I just thought we'd like to remind Mark of that and give him an edge when he comes in to the Nottingham Panthers. Lovely. Panthers versus Dundee, Saturday at 7. Corey, training camp. You're quite pleased with it so far?
I am. Yeah, we're looking for some reinforcements. Obviously, we're really excited to get these guys are starting to get their visas, and they're coming in this week. So, all things said, I really like the look of our new goaltender. I mean, Mika's he's a fierce competitor in the net every day. He works really hard. A few of our older guys, you really notice that they really take care of their bodies. They're in great shapes. They eat real well. So that's something that it's obviously a culture change we've been establishing over the years, and these guys fit right into that mold. We got some nice young guys who are, like Swinney, and a few of these guys, they're coming in doing a great job. Ollie's come in and he's pretty fierce and strong, and even the new young kids coming up, the Connors and these guys, they come up, they did a good job. Practice has been really good. They've been fast, energetic, a lot of energy. A lot like this interview I'm doing right now. And but aside from,
you've had some good media training over the years.
Yeah. That's good.
So what about training? How does it compare with the EPL and then Dundee? Do Corey and Strax put you through it a little bit harder?
Definitely 2 a days, 2 ice practices a day does take its toll on the body. You got to really work on keeping yourself conditioned, stretching, warming up, cooling down, eating the right food, making sure you're getting enough food, the protein shake. So it's all a process, making sure that you're ready to go to the next practice, the ice baths, the hot tubs. It's definitely a lot more serious here than anywhere else that I've been. Swindon, it's a little bit later on in the season. You do a shorter training camp. Dundee's a lot shorter training camp. Here, definitely up there with some of the best pre-season I've had, especially learning. I said we've been here 2 weeks and I've learned a load so far, and I hope that continues. People are helping me out. I can help out where I can with the younger guys like Connor and stuff, so it's a really good thing. I'm really enjoying it so far.
Big team effort coming from the off-ice crew, the on-ice crew, the coaches, the players. Love to see you. We'll be talking to you again after the break. You talk about the strength and the conditioning and the fitness, as the boys just have. On the gallery, on the Chick Zammit Gallery this week, on Checking It Out with the GMB, Eddie Suiki will be talking to, amongst others, Pete, the strength and conditioning coach. That's coming right up after this short break.
Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on.
Fiat 500 Vintage 57. It's the latest addition to the Fiat 500 range. Visit your local dealer.
I'm Jeff Waugh, and you're watching Checking It Out from the Panthers office with the GMB.
Ice hockey, the world's fastest team sport. Played in Nottingham by the GMB Nottingham Panthers. For tickets and fixtures, visit panthers.co.uk.
We're here at the Chick Zamek Gallery, and I've got plenty of fabulous guests with me today. First of all, Dan Green, our netminder. Dan, you've been along with training camp. Tell us, how's the atmosphere in the locker room?
It's going great so far. We're getting guys in all the time. We've been working really hard, on the ice twice a day. Corey's running us pretty hard. Corey and Strax putting us through our paces. So working hard and every day, sort of we're building up and we're getting there day by day.
You are a goalie, so could you tell us from a goalie's perspective, how do you like the Viking, Mika Wiekman?
He's great. He's been awesome so far. Obviously, you've seen him play the last few games. He's played really good every game. But he's working hard in practice. We're trying to work together on a few little things, and it's coming together. We've got a good partnership so far, and hopefully it will continue.
What did you do to prepare for this season?
Basically just a lot of gym stuff. A lot of the guys that sort of live in the city all year round now have been doing stuff together in Virgin Gym here. Just kind of, regular stuff, weights, some plyometrics. I did a little bit of swimming at the start. We tried to get back on the ice for a little bit in August. So just everything, try and build up the sort of the strength, the speed, and sort of trying to get ready for the start of the season.
Dan Green has won 9 trophies with the GMP Nottingham Panthers, and he's going to look for his 10th this season, hopefully. Now, strength conditioning coach, or manager, I guess you could say, Pete Edwards. What have you got the boys doing?
Well, at this part of the season, in preparation, we're largely just focusing on making sure that they're not at risk of getting hurt, their range of movement is good, their stability is good, and their speed and power.
Could you tell us, maybe an insider tip, who's doing really well under your supervision right now?
Well, it's really nice to see the entire team come back in fantastic shape. Across the board this year, they're looking really, really good, really athletic, really lean. It's especially nice to see David Clark come back in fantastic shape. Obviously, he had the shoulder surgery last year. He's been working out every day in the summer, and he's looking really good.
What are your plans in terms of strength conditioning for this season throughout?
Well, during the season, our main focus is on keeping the guys' muscle mass as high as we can possibly keep it, keeping them lean. Those things just contribute in general to them being able to move well on the ice and stay fast.
And that's Pete Edwards for you. Now we're going to talk to Gary Smith from Temple Printing. Gary does our Match Night magazines, isn't that right, Gary?
That's right, yeah, and here is a sneak preview of the cover as we speak.
Who is that on the cover?
That's the new goalkeeper, you tell me.
Good stuff. How is it coming along, the rest of the Match Night magazine?
Yeah, we're almost there. A few things to do. Obviously, you've still got one guy to get in yet, so we don't even know who that's going to be. Hopefully, if he's in time, he'll be in with previewing all the new guys and that type of thing. We've also got lots of new things going in. All Our Yesterdays is one of them, which these guys have had to fill out, these players. And he was the first in, Paul Swindlehurst, who's on the couch tonight. So he was the first in, so he goes straight in. And that's just interesting, telling him about how they started hockey and that type of thing. So, yeah, it's a good read. I hope all the fans buy it. We need more people buying it, which helps the club, which helps us, helps everyone, and everyone's happy. But there's things in here that you don't always get on the website or on the internet, when you're trying to go on the websites and internet sites. So I'd have to say, get down, buy a programme, good read during the breaks.
Let's have a look at how much work goes into it behind the scenes. All this you've got here, how long does it take you to come up with that?
Well, between me and the GM and all the office staff who help, including yourself, has been sending things. It can be hours and hours of time, but once I get it collated into the magazine, it's 2 or 3 days to get put together. Then you've got to print it, which is probably another day, nearly, and then you finish it, and these guys get it delivered on a Friday, ready for the match on the Saturday or the Sunday.
Now you brought your son Alfie. Alfie, do you have any favorite players from the Nottingham Panthers?
Well, my favorite ever player was David Ling, and he's actually in the program this week.
What about from the current roster? Do you have anybody you're really looking forward to see?
I like David Clark a lot because I actually know him and I've met him a lot of times, and he's really nice to me. So yeah.
How many goals is David Clark going to score this season?
20.
20 is a good. 20 is a good number, and we like that. Hopefully, David Clark can indeed go with what Alfie predicted, right? So we're going to take a small ad break and go back to Gary at the couch. You're watching Checking Out with the GMB.
Amore. Subito.
Say hello to the all-new Fiat 500X. The Italian crossover, ready for action in all Fiat showrooms from April 24th.
I'm David Clark, and you're watching Checking It Out from the office with the GMB. Boom!
This is Checking It Out from the Panthers office. And you know it's from the Panthers office because you heard the ambulances and the police earlier in the show in the background coming to try and pick up Corey Nielsen and Paul Swindlehurst off the couch. Thanks to Eddie and the gang on the Chick Zammit Gallery. But it's time now for our 2 awards before we move on any further. And if you remember them from last week, we have the Flower Vision Bouquet of the Week. It goes to someone that's done something good. You got any nominations this week? Don't say Joanne.
Joanne.
Joanne gets the nomination again.
Yes.
Paul, you got any nominations for the Bouquet of the Week?
No, I don't think so. I can't think of any, really.
Eddie wanted to give it to Stevie Lee because he was very kind to one of the fans and gave them a puck until I pointed out to him we go through 6,000 pucks a season. And that does happen quite a bit. But I think because this can go to... It doesn't have to go to someone from the Panthers camp. It doesn't have to go to someone from ice hockey. I think in a sporting field, we've got to give this week to Mo Farah, the GB athlete, for winning the triple-double, which is something we were very proud to do only a couple of years ago. He won the 5 and 10,000 at 3 major championships in a row. Wow. Yeah, do you think that's a good nomination?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
You think he's pretty good?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
You know, stick your neck out. You know, don't sit on the fence, Corey.
Well, he's good. Runs. Kind of boring.
Yeah. Is it right you once wanted to be a track and field coach because level 2 is bare left and get back here as quick as you can? That's all that's involved. All right, Flower Vision Bouquet goes to Mo Farah. And now the Grace's Joker, the clown moment of the week. It's named after, he died in 1837, Joseph Grimaldi, proper entertainer, rich entertainer, an absolute clown, and any resemblance or reference to anyone living or recent, as we explained in the pilot show, is absolutely purely coincidental. Have you got any nominations for Daft Moments of the Week?
Well, we were speaking about it before. I think he's got to go to Scotty.
Yeah.
For the amount of times that he walks on the Panthers logo in the middle of the dressing room.
Scott Poundle, the physio.
Yeah, it's a £1 fine every time you step on it, and I think in 2 weeks he's about £20 down so far. So I think that should go to him this week.
Dan, is that right? Does he walk all over the mat?
Yeah, like you said, I think he's walked on it about 10 or 15 times in the last 2 weeks, so he's down quite a lot of money.
All right, I'm going to accept that as a nomination. Have you got any nominations, Corey?
No, I do not.
You do not. I've got a couple of nominations. I quite liked the story about the ex-Zimbabwe cricket captain. He now plays for Notts. He got so bladdered, bungalow, maiden, whatever you want to call a drunk cricketer, that he just opened a car door, got in and tried to sleep it off, and a businessman woke up the next morning, get to his home, the door, rang the police, so he got arrested, but he's not going to get it. Nearly gave it to Volleybrook, the big Slovakian. You even had him on your radar at one point in the summer, you know, the ex-NHL heavyweight. Simply because the Dragon, the bruiser, Robert Farmer, was having a bit of a push and shove. And I understand Volleybrook walked up to him in the game at Coventry last Wednesday and said, "If you don't calm down, I will have to do my job."
Yeah.
And Farms calmed down. But the winner is, from right here in the Panthers office, it's the beautiful, the efficient, the witty Sarah Longdon.
Yay!
And how did she win the clown moment of the week? Well, I came in one day and mentioned that my shirt was a bit tight. I said, it's all the working out I've been doing in the gym. And as I walked down the steps, Corey, do you know what she shouted?
Oh.
You sure it hasn't shrunk in the wash?
Oh.
Strange way to hand your notice in, Sarah. So Sarah's going to get the Grimaldi moment of the week this week. We talked about GB in the first part of tonight's show. That was a heck of an experience at the end of the season last year, and GB came so close, and then it was a former Panther that had a massive part in stopping GB getting the gold medal in the shape of Korea's coach, Jimmy Pack.
Yeah, definitely. That kind of a bad season for me last year. Didn't do too well, but GB topped it off. To get a silver medal at the World Championships is still a massive achievement for the Great British Ice Hockey team, but the gold medal was in our grasp, and I think every guy on the team would have wished to have had that. Sadly, we ended up with the silver. We didn't beat Lithuania, and Korea ended up getting it, but I think that we can take what from it that we can is that we beat Korea. Even though they got the gold medal, it just didn't work out for us. And as you say, yeah, former Panther helped the Koreans get the gold medal. But we can go into this year coming up with Great Britain and hold our heads high and hopefully get the gold this year.
We've got him at the back. Jimmy Pack must have been before your time with the Panthers, Corey.
Yep.
But he's left quite a reputation behind him. He was a great player, a great human being, and he's got 2 Stanley Cup rings from playing, and I mean proper playing. He wasn't just on the squad. He assisted and scored goals and things. And then with his time in the AHL at Grand Rapids Griffins, he was often called up to Detroit for the Stanley Cup finals to join the coaching staff. So I think he's got 4 or 5 more in the safe as well from that.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart guy, and you know what, anytime we need a reference on a player, I can always call him. He makes himself available. He's a good fella.
He's a good guy. You must have been really gutted, though. I mean, I know guys say, well, it's great, as you just said, to get the silver medal and what have you, but it's not like winning a silver, it's losing the gold, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it kind of shows on the video at the end of the game. Lithuania are all jumping around because they've won the bronze medal, and we've all got our heads in our hands, even though we've got the silver medal. As you say, you don't win silver, you lose gold. But in that tournament, everybody pulled the weight, and we ended up, if someone told us at the beginning of the tournament, do you want a silver medal? I think quite a few of the guys would have turned around and gone, yeah, we'll take a silver medal. But I think it kind of shows where GB is on the map now with the silver medal, and where we can get to if we keep going the way that we are.
It's going to be a slow climb for GB, isn't it, Corey? You've been involved in that programme up to before the last season you were involved, but it is a tough ladder to climb, because people forget it's not that many years ago that the Russian states split up, so everyone's ranking got knocked down.
Yeah, it's tough to get out of that group too. There's always one team getting promoted, but there's also that team coming down. So it's always going to be a up and down thing. But I really like what they've done with the program. Obviously, getting me out of there was good, and now they're got a silver medal.
Because I agree. I'm just saying.
No, I really like Pete. I think Pete Russell's he's come in. He's brought in some young guys, a little energy in there, and they're sticking to what works for them. So
where would you stand on the dual national front? Let's ask the pair of you that, because the more dual nationals you have, the fewer native Brits you have in the lineup, but the more chance you have of getting that much needed promotion.
I think I would take the best players available, regardless of where they're from. I think that's the only fair way to do it. I mean, you're not doing anybody a service if you didn't. Okay, we're not going to take him. We're going to take him because he's a homegrown Brit. I think they have to be pushed and tested, and that's what I do with these guys every day. I mean, he just gets abuse all day long because he's a hockey player for me, and doesn't matter if she's just him. He's anybody. So you have to treat them all fair, I think, and that if they keep doing that, it'll be better for the program.
And Paul, would you welcome that kind of competition for place for the GB?
Definitely. If you play in this league, you're playing against other national people that play on their countries. So if they're good enough to play on the GB team and they've done the dues, getting the British passport, because it's not easy to get a British passport. You've got to spend 5 years over here if you've never lived here. You've got to play in this league for 5 years or something along them lines. So if they do the time,
3 full seasons.
3 full seasons. If they do the time, then there's no reason why I don't think they should make it. I think Chris Blight last year, dual national, he helped out the team. I think he got a goal in one of the games. and he's done his time over here and he helped out. But I think, as Corey says, it pushes the British guys. If I knew that there was a dual citizen who could take my spot, say, this coming next year, I'd work 10 times harder to make sure it didn't go to him, because representing your country should be one of the highest priorities that you've got. And if there's someone there who's, say, Canadian but parents are British, he's more than welcome to try and take my spot, or anybody else who's on the team.
But you're going to do your damnedest to make sure he doesn't do it.
Definitely, yeah.
We have got a great Brit pack with the GMB Nottingham Panthers. You can see them in action. And as the visas come through, we're looking at Brad Moran joining us this week and Stephen Schultz joining us this week. And we're keeping an eye on emails as imports are keeping an eye on letterboxes in America and Canada as we record this programme, hoping that even more might be with us for the opener on Saturday at 7 against the Dundee Stars. Now remember, if you've got a nomination for the Bouquet of the Week in association with Flower Vision, or you've got a nomination for the Jokey Clown Moment of the Week, do get in touch with us. And if you want to appear with us on the Chick Zammit Gallery with Eddie Suiki, give us a call as well and we'll see if we can fit you in on a future programme. Corey, you looking forward to Saturday and the start of it all for Ernest?
Yeah, I think, you know, we've been just getting the guys going, getting them moving, letting them learn, teaching them how to compete and the level they need to compete at. And I think for the players here, it was good to see how they've, you know, adjusted to the crowd and the noise. And they saw, especially in that second period of our last exhibition game, they saw when they started making some contact and the energy started to raise. And if they can get that going right at the start of you know, the Saturday, it's tough to play in here, and you probably attest to that. You know, come into here and the fans start rocking and we're coming out with energy. It's tough to keep pace with us. So hopefully we can get them all acclimatized to that whole thing.
And Paul, you did have to acclimatise against the Clan. They've been playing in the Champions Hockey League and they were a yard or two faster than us for a few shifts. Yeah, definitely. It was a difficult start to the game, one home opener. Some of the guys hadn't played in front of a crowd like that before, or the rink, something like that. But yeah, it took us a couple of shifts, couple of minutes to get going. As you said, they've been playing Champions League, so they've been playing a lot better hockey than us. But I think we found our feet pretty quick. To let one goal in against a team that had been playing against the top Swedish teams, to just let one goal in is, I think, a good achievement on the defensive part of the attack. But the guys there, they did well, and I think they've got a good season to come. We're looking forward to seeing you in action against your old club, Dundee Stars. Saturday at 7, you've been watching Checking It Out from the Panthers office in association with the GMB. We'll be back again next week. Thanks for watching.